What is up, guys? It's Buran here today, and today I think I'm just gonna tell you a story because, well, not always, something like that happens, and you don't sometimes have the access to what happens with like tournament organizing and stuff like that, and what stuff we as the organizers have to deal many times. So this past weekend we had a league challenge, which was a great success. We had a really nice people there. Besides one guy, but I'm gonna go back a bit. Don't worry, I'm gonna go back to it. So the challenge was great. We had packed place for the league challenge, which was quite cool. Everyone came out with not only with promos, but with like polls. Like almost everyone had good polls, right? So that was quite fun. So there was this one guy, right? Because normally what we're doing is that the signups for the league are either through the event that is on the local store website, on the same event is on our Facebook group, and also there is a link and an event locator to that event. Plus I always tell guys, like, hey, if you can't access the event because Facebook kind of works weirdly recently, you can always send an email through event locator, because we're doing online signups, right? So just to be sure that because we had like limited capacity for every event, because the clubhouse is even though it's big, there's still like yesterday because yesterday was Sunday, right? So at the same date as we had a challenge, there was actually finals of Polish championships and one of the miniature games as well, right? So the finals, Polish championships, the country's championship, of the whole series, big event as well, right? So you kind of have to like work around that, right? As an tournament organizer, you have to work around many events that are happening at the same time. There was also Dragon Ball pre-release, and there's always something happening, right? So we got our own place, we got maximum capacity. We had like one more person that came and I was like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be fine, and everyone was happy at the end of the day. But there was this guy, and I told you about this guy like way back on stream. So the story back then was that the whole story is gonna be about the Fighter of the Year. I think I'm gonna call it like Fighter of the Year at League. So the guy came to our league like 2 months ago, I believe, 3 months ago. Came in already like demanding respect, already demanding this 3 months ago that we should worship him, and he was like telling us what everyone is doing wrong, like, oh, it's hard to get to the store or whatever. I'm like, yeah, everyone can get here, so just don't be like that. Oh, there's this and that and that. I'm like, dude, like, this is, come on, it's like a nice local game store. You can buy your son of food here, you can have a coffee, tea, right? So like, it's a nice local game store that we all want the place to be friendly for everyone. So that's why we welcome everyone, right? So there was round one, and he was like you could have seen the attitude, he was like talking, oh, my son is like the top 4, champion in regionals, I've been playing this game for so long, I'm so good. And I'm like, okay, cool. Of course, his son was like really nice there. And he keeps saying that how like he was in day 2 of whatever regionals. No, he wasn't. Let's be clear here. I literally checked after the event, just so I will not tell a lie, because that's a story from like 3 months ago. So his son also wasn't there, in junior division, wasn't that high, because he's like, oh, we have boxes of prizes that he won, and you're like, no, he didn't. Let's be clear here. But I played with that. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, that's nice. I'm trying to be super polite, trying to be super nice. I'm like, yeah, cool, it's all good, nice, we can trade, we can play, sure. And like, I play against him. And that was normal league, not a challenge, like 3 months ago. And he plays welder, because he was playing Blazeful a baby one, and he plays welder without energy, and he starts drawing 3 cards, and I stop him like, hey, sorry, sir, you can't do that. The card says, you have to attach up to 2 fire type energies, and if you do that, there's this word, if you do, then draw 3 cards. And he flips out at me like, it's not like that. I'm like, okay, there's another judge there, so I'm like, I'm calling my friend that was judging the event, because he was playing like Warhammer 40k, but he also is a judge here, and he says the same thing. Everyone around us tells him the same thing, so he flips out, at me. I'm like, oh, you don't know how to play the game. I played this game for so long. I've been to this regionals, this internationals, world championships, whatever. Okay, no, he didn't say world championships, but you get the point, right? So so he goes like, because he's so experienced, he has, he can read what is not on the card and still try to force you. And again, he tried that when he was like really losing to my Pikarom deck at the time. So after that game, he just stands up and goes like, you don't even have Wi-Fi here, or the Wi-Fi is like really bad, and he walked away. Then he tried to like bash us on like Polish groups, like, oh, the judging is bad there, this is bad, never go there. And I'm and I kind of got annoyed by that. Like, he was harassing me personally on on Facebook, right? Like, in DMs and in the messages, and when someone's harassing me, there's a block button, right? So I just like blocked him. It's all fine, it's all good. I don't have to care about the guy, because really, I hear a lot of bad things that is being said about me, like the way I look, like whatever. I'm not gonna give you ideas, but I have like I like to assume I have a thick skin, so I'm just like, screw it, block it. And I forgot about it. Like, honestly, I literally forgot about it. And the store is creating events separately, and I'm creating event just in case someone has problems with seeing the ones I do. I always advertise them on the group. Not only me, but the store as well advertises the events, right? So everything goes like through the store. Then the store like sends me the list, like, hey, those people want to sign up. We're waiting for for you so do we have enough space? Like, I'm working on both sides, right? I'm like, because I'm not employee, which a lot of people forget of the local game store. So on both events, right? So the ones that store is putting out, and an hour you have the list of people, but on our you have like you can also like, you have first an hour group, then then there, because it it takes some time. And I always say that in every event, like, hey, please do sign up here, maybe use an email. It's a lot easier for me. There's no problems, there's no reserve list, sorry, because like this capacity. So the challenge comes, right? And we see a message, like Kovac sees a message to her, and he's like, oh, you're like your fiance, banned us, and we can't, come into the event, and like we can't sign up, we can't see anything. And I go like, okay, but you see the, and because I look at it, and I told Kovac to how to respond. I'm like, all right, so do you see the event on the store side? Yes. Do you see it on event locator that we've put out, like 3 weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago? He was like, yes. What does it say? Oh, it says that I should, sign up either in event, or I can write an email, whatever, right? And I'm like, yeah, you can politely contact us, and I'm like, hey, there's a problem, I don't see it, and we're gonna send you the current list of players if there is, or we'll tell you if there is a place, because it's not like it's not announced everywhere. Like simultaneously the event is first is event on the, like, simultaneously is on the store and on the group. Like, we both work together with the store for that, and then the link to the events is in event locator with the date, and with like, because I write the statement like, hey, if you can't see that, you can always use the email. So I'm like, fine, and we tell him like, sir, there's no problem. If you want to come in, we're gonna sign you up, don't worry about it. You can't see the Facebook stuff. I mean, you see it on a store page, you see the event there, so you kind of know what's the list. It's like public information, right? Like, it doesn't matter, since even if I'm like, that's what I'm saying, even if I block someone, they can still see on the on the fan page of the store, right? Because it's there and the store is doing it, not me, like putting up. And also there's an event locator where you can always contact the email. And I can tell you many people do contact us via email. They contact us, through the store. They contact the store itself that they want to sign up. Like, it does work, right? We're just giving people multiple options to sign up for the events, so no one is kind of left behind, right? So, he talks about it, and we respond like, yeah, sure, come on in, come on over. So he comes in. And like we're already we're setting up, the double playmat that TPCI sends out, the double one that is for like new players to learn, whatever. He's there with his son again, and he doesn't even say hi. He just gets there and like sits down in the corner. I'm like, okay, sure, sir. There's you have to go to the cashier, to the store owner, because there was a store owner at the time. And you have to buy yourself that ticket for for the event. It's like it's $4 or $3 for the pack, for the prices, and it's $1 for the store and for the clubhouse to run events still, for the electricity, for all of that stuff, because again we have like a nice deal that they're charging us less for boosters. And there's another guy, then another father and another son came, like, oh nice, we're gonna have nice people here today. They were signed up as well. And then other guys, like 3 came, and 2 of them were like, one of them was signed up, but one guy didn't show up. So like, okay, we can get one more, it's okay, you're on side, don't worry, everyone's gonna play, it's fine, it's cool, everyone agreed, right? So so we have like 16 players. Right, because that was like the max capacity, and that was like the maximum of players that wanted to play. The challenges, challenges are small. Like, people don't really like challenges. I get that. So we're setting up the laptop and everything, for the system, and I hear the guy, like the guy that was there like 3 months ago, that I blocked, just starting to go like, oh, I hate this store. They're so mean. Like they don't have Wi-Fi. Like why you should even come here? And he says that to other players. Why you should come here? Like, you should not come here. And he's like bashing the store. I'm like, dude, I'm like next to you. Like, come on, you're an adult. There's your kid there. Okay. So I told him, like, shush. Right? I shushed him, because again, everyone here that came was like, excuse me, like they were saying, like, yes, please, they were using those nice words. Then you're like, oh, no problem, it's okay, there's a really nice environment, right? So there was no, it didn't felt like a challenge, but even if it was, because of, everyone was so nice beside this one guy. So round 1, goes well, everything is okay. And then, pairings for round 2 are up. Everyone sits down at the tables, and because there was only one junior, it got paired with a master, right? Because it was junior, senior, and and only masters. So first round it was junior versus senior, then the junior versus master, and senior versus master. So they do play their games. Like, that's how the system works. For those who don't know, so by pure accident they got paired together, right? So father and the son, this Astwat, because I'm going to call him that way, they get paired together, right? So, I asked him if he, if he's heard that, I'd show him the table. So everyone's preparing, for the round. And how it is, right? You're still like shuffling, and like it's this small group, you kind of talk, you still have like laugh, chat, it's all fun. And then like 10 minutes passed, and, I look at, because we want to start the round. Everyone is ready, and I'm like, where's his son? It was like 10 minutes, maybe even more. He doesn't care, I'm like, I'm just going, where's your son? He goes like, I don't know. And I'm like, wait, that's your son. Like, you should know where is your son. I'm not responsible for your son. Like, you're playing, that's your opponent. And I'm like, okay, so can you go look for him? He goes like, eh. So at the same time, store owner comes in and he goes like, who came with a kid? And dead silence. Like, the guy is like straight like in front of the store owner, and he's like, like, who came with a kid? He was like, mate, so what? And he was like, sir, there has been an emergency. Your son is not feeling well. He puked all over the stairs, because we had like, we're on the ground floor, but on the first floor there is a toilet and everything, right? So he was like, he puked all over, the stairs, and he's probably puking still in the toilet. And the guy's reaction, like, so normally, you know, normal person's reaction is like, oh my god, that's my son. You go there. He was like, okay. And he goes there. So, you know, I'm like, okay, guys, can you, for the second, we're gonna stop the event. I'm gonna check on, you know, Kovac also, like, we're going to, you know, Kovac is there, you know, like, we're gonna check on the kid first, right? Because, you know, there are two judges playing, one judge is there, Kovac is there, you know, as well. So, you know, everyone's like, yeah, sure, you know, no problem, right? So, you know, they didn't stop for a while. So I go there, and I hear the guy, right, talking to the store owner with like, I'm not cleaning that. It's your store's fault. And I'm like, are you kidding me, right? And he starts, you know, to get angry at the store owner. And the store owner just, you know, cleans his son puke. And he was like, I'm not going to clean that because, you know, it's not my responsibility. And stuff like, no, it's your. Asked what? It's your responsibility. That's your son. And, you know, so Stormner's cleaning, you know, he went to his son there. Like, we can still hear, you know, him, like, bashing his son, you know, like, being mad at him. And also, like, you know, being mad at the store for whatever reason. So, the store cleaned that. They came down the stairs and, you know, and I hear this, and this was, like, the best, you know, line that, you know, just went right through me. He goes, you know, because his son is like pale white at this point, and, you know, he's like not responding almost. Like, I wanted to ask them, you know, if they want to go to the hospital at that point, you know, if they want ambulance or, you know, like doctor assistance. So he looks at his son, he goes like, and now you're gonna go play that round against me and you're gonna lose. I'm like standing there. I look to the left because, you know, there's a wall, and, you know, there's like Kovac, there are like, you know, a few other players. They look at me. I look at them like, what just happened? And the guy just like leaves the kid and goes to the table and sits down. And I'm like, what? So, like, I asked him, hey, you know, how do you feel? Like, what's up? He goes like, oh, no, I can't compete. Like, that's what the kid says. Like, I can't compete. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But what happened? You know, was that a stress? Because, I mean, if that was a stress, I want to avoid that next time. You know, and he goes like, no, I haven't eaten, you know, anything in the morning. Like, no breakfast. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, the father just, you know, got you from, like, city that's around our drive from us without a breakfast. It's morning, and the tournament's gonna, you know, like, it takes like 4 to 5 hours, no, 4 hours, because that was 4 rounds, and like, this kid is gonna starve. And like, in my head, what the hell? And, you know, so I see the kid is really not well. You know, the guy, you know, stands up, you know, goes back to him, and as he goes back, he says, you shouldn't eat those jelly beans. Like, so imagine this situation. The guy drove in the morning from different city, like our drive, you know, away from us, to our store, and only gave the kid the jelly beans for, like, the pack of jelly beans for the breakfast for the whole day. And he gets mad at us and at the store. Has a nerve to, you know, like, not even, like, take responsibility for the kid. Like, he's just, you know, like, doesn't care. He didn't even, like, really, he didn't even clean. He was not even apologetic about it. He wasn't like, you know, even scared about his own kid. He was like pissed off. And, you know, and I tell the guy, hey, listen, I talked to your son, you know, he's unable to compete. We're gonna give you the packs, don't worry. You get the promos, because we were giving acrobatics as well. I'm like, I think I'm gonna just drop him from the tournament, not gonna DQ, but it's gonna be a drop. He can't continue. Like, this is not a joke. And he goes like, okay. I'm like, all right. And he goes, so give the win to me. My face is again like, what? So I'm like, all right, you know, if you want that win, well, yeah, your son can't compete and it's like dying, but you care about the win. Okay. So everyone is ready, you know, we start the round, we play the round, and for the next hour, we don't see them. Like, I think what happened is, like, store owner, or they went outside for, you know, a breath of fresh air. Maybe, you know, maybe store owner gave him some water, probably, because he's a fantastic guy. And after an hour, you know, they came back, you know, they get the stuff, and I'm like, really, you know, I'm still being nice, like, hey, you know, wait, because, like, I finished my round already. I'm like, wait, so those are the packs. Because everyone gets always one pack. That's an acro bike. It's okay. And like your son was the only junior, so you can take, because I hope he's gonna feel a lot better. That's the first place Elm. Be happy. Like the son is like a little bit smiling. He's almost like crying. He's like, yeah, thank you. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I hope you're gonna have fantastic pulls from this pack. Like I'm really trying to be super nice to the kid, especially that it was one only junior. And the guy just like packs it and leaves, right? And I know he tried, like he started like trash, because that's what owner told me later, that as he was leaving, he started trash talking the store for letting something like that happen, that his son puked. And like, you did that, you son of a gun, like you did that. So the rest of the tournament was normal, but there's this other father, and I told him, like, because round 3 I played against this father, and I told him, like, hey, sir, it's all good, like, you see. And I tell him the same story as I told you at the beginning. And I go like, so you see, being super nice. And I look at Adrian, like one of the players that I think is like one of the nicest people there. And like, you see, if you're nice to someone, like we're gonna be super nice to you. And like, you've seen for yourself, are we really that bad? He was like, no, guys, like, I came here and you treat me like family. I'm like we would know each other for so long. I'm like, yeah, because that's the environment here. You see, it's a challenge. It's a competitive, right? We do play competitively because that's world championships points, but everyone is still nice to each other, and you don't have to be a male gen to tell it. And he was like, yeah, that's what I want. I'm like, you see, there we go. So I know that he trash talked the store owner, like this guy that from the puking. And I know that for the fact that as of right now, by my decision and decision of the store owner, it's not like we're going to restrict him from coming to the events, because I didn't want to do that. But it's like 3 strikes and you're out. Like strike 1, he came, he bashed, like he tried to ban the league. He was like writing incredible, like not like. Honestly, if you think like Stephen King writes fiction, whatever, like Harry Potter is a fiction, he wrote better. This situation where he like really didn't care, and like we said, like if he's gonna come here and behave negatively in any way again, we're just gonna say sorry, but you're not getting to the tournament. I'm sorry, but I'm just scared of the health of the kid at this point, right? Because the thing is that I will never know. I would have to, like, literally before every tournament, I would have to ask the kid if he ate, if he drank, because imagine another situation like that puts well, not the store at risk by any means, but no one wants a situation like that. No one wants to deal with people that are like abusive and harassing, and that don't even care about their own kids, right? Because really, like, think about that. He cared more about the W than the health of his son. Like, that is insane to me. It's crazy. And if so for all of his behavior, I would love to ban him from the stall, but I'm not doing that. But he is on the watch list, and we know that he's gonna do one more thing. It doesn't matter if it's if it's Pokemon or any other game, he's gonna be banned from the store, because I don't want to put this kid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I if the kid wants to play, he's gonna play. But I don't want I don't want this kid to get into like dangerous things. Like, he's 9-year-old. He doesn't know any better, right? So the responsibility is on the father, and I would. On purpose, I'm not saying their names or surnames, even though I should definitely. But I mean, I can understand like first time when he tried to be like an ass twat, but this was, I think that being a dick. Sorry, but being a dick, that's a completely different story. But putting your own child in danger, and still like. Mentally, I can't even understand how this kid is gonna live. Because imagine, like, you feel sick, you know, like, you haven't eaten, you know, your father, like, let you eat only jelly beans because he's dumb, and he's like, you know, he's angry at you, like, it's all your fault all the time. So I'm worried about this kid's mental health, and I don't want to put that on risk, right? And I think, you know, you're gonna agree with me on that. It's like, if he has his, you know, the game store that has challenges and cups in his own town, if he wants he can go there. But, you know, like, being, you know, abusive the first time, you know, harassing May and being abusive to May, and like writing really bad messages to me personally on Facebook before I blocked him, and then, you know, just coming to the store and bashing the store all the time, you know, being, you know, I can't even, you know, explain, like, being a dick like that to the kid. It's too much. And, you know, he's gonna be on the watch list for us, right? So every time, you know, he's gonna try to come to an event, we're gonna put him on the list. Sure, he can come, but one more thing, and sorry, and you're out, right? Like, you know, I do care about that kid too much. And, you know, again, for me, if we're gonna know that the kid is okay and he is able to, because again, like, as of right now, like, we've put the policy that if the adult comes with the kid, he, like, before he buys ticket, the kid has to tell 2 things: that he ate, drink, 3 things, and how he feels. Because we, you know, we don't want to put anyone in harm, and, you know, and this irresponsible dude just done that. It's insane to me. And I don't care, you know, like, honestly, I don't care if that's, you know, like, your son or not. Like, they share their surname, you know, I mean, it might be adopted, whatever, but you come with someone. Even if, you know, I would come with, like, a friend of mine that, well, maybe I don't like him that much, but I would came with my friend, you know, the guy would be, you know, like, still hours away from his home, so I'm like, you know, I would take care of him, you know, and I know he would take care of me. So, yeah, that's what we have to deal sometimes with. And, you know, sorry that was a long video, I know. But honestly, this is just bad behavior, and, you know, I'm sorry, but there are consequences of being like that. And, you know, I would not, I don't want, you know, any kid, like, anyone being, you know, harmed, or, you know, in my store, in our local game store, or during the league, or not feel comfortable, or, you know, just no. So sometimes, you know, you as a tournament organizer, like, you either have to throw a guy away, or, you know, you just say, like, hey, sorry, you're banned from the store. And, you know, I know it never feels right to do something like that. It never, you know, feels right to put that guy on a watch list and be like, hey, you know, 1 more strike and you're out. But sometimes, you know, you have to do what you have to do. And I'm gonna say this, like, the rest of the tournament was great. The guys that came, you know, the third guy, they were respectively 1, 2, 3. Adrian was third, you know, like, it was a really nice it was a really nice event. Everyone pulled fantastic cards from boosters. Everyone, you know, on the top 4 spots got their elms, you know, everything. So overall, like, the event was great. And, you know, this whole thing did not disrupt the event by any means. Everyone, you know, even though at first everyone has, like, a bad taste in their mouth after the situation, I think, in the way we handled it, without, like, you know, like, being nice and polite and trying, you know, to do our best, everyone came out happy, and, you know, and with points, and there was no problem at the end of the day. And the guy is just a dick. Sorry, because for me, like, you should not be a father. Like, you should, I know there are strong words, but I'm just scared right now of safety of this kid, like, his mental health as he's gonna grow up, right? So sometimes, you know, you just have to, and I know, right, you know, I know that I would if the kid would come, I'd be like, yeah, sure, you can play, but are you all right? And but I think I will never like forget like the guy just like, I'm gonna crush you. Like the kid is just like pale white, and the guy's like still into destroying him. It's insane to me. But yeah, I mean, there's honestly, I know every single tournament organizer dealt with something like that, or even Wes, and I know that. I'm glad that we're not dealing with a lot of stuff, but when we do, it's gonna end up here, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more stories from League, from the judges or from organizers or everything, let me know, because yeah, like we've got so many stories, right? Like in Warsaw, I know there was this guy that got DQ'd for offering like 30 euros. Like the behavior, like the rule sharking, all of that stuff. It's just people do think they can do everything, or from people that they try to like harass you in DMs if they're not meeting with with the max capacity, and you tell like, but hey, you're on the reserve list, don't worry, I'm gonna call you, and they go like and harass you still because and they call you names. It's one of this dark sides of Pokemon, where you end up going like, do I really freaking want to do that anymore? So yeah, that's it for me now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Goodbye and good night. Love ya.